Everybody's counting out the Mountaineers as we head to Provo on Friday night, but I've got a sneaking suspicion that they could be on upset alert.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, baby. Well, we're talking about the Mountaineers again on the football side of things today. And we're excited because we have so many things to talk about. It's a new week. It's a new season. It's a new time to hopefully get back on the right track. And we can't do that without a win in Provo Friday night. How realistic is it? We're going to get into that. Before we do, though, we have to recognize FanDuel, guys. If you didn't realize, right now, new customers can bet just $5 and make you holler. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. That's if you win that first $5 bet. Make sure you get to download the app today to get started. But I'm not here alone. Actually, this is one of the most esteemed guests that I've had on in quite a while. Somebody I'm very excited to talk to. I met him at the BYU TV studio. He has been at BYU TV for 20 years. He also does BYU Sports Nation and is an incredible personality. We're excited to have Jarom Jordan on, man. How you doing, brother?
Mountaineer Paul, what up, dog? Thanks for having me on the program. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, excited. We met whenever I came to Provo with Utah Valley.
Yeah.
And you guys were nice enough to let me in studio to witness you guys do a show. It was awesome to take a peek behind the scenes and see what it's like when the pros do it.
Oh, no, you're a pro too. Come on, man. You're doing great content too. You're giving the people what they need, what they want. Breaking news today, right? Like stuff going on.
Yeah, so, a little bit of Nico.
It was great to have you in studio, and we're excited to have the Mountaineers in Provo this weekend.
Yeah. So obviously this is a tough spot for the Mountaineers, turning around from just a butt whipping last week against Utah, which will probably happen to more teams this year. They looked really good.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Yeah. And we turn around to an even better team, or at least a better defense this year in Provo. We talked about it a little bit when I was there. You guys were expecting to be good this year. Are you better than you thought you would be?
A little bit. I was hoping the defense would be really, really good. They've been awesome this year. Obviously, they're giving up more points the last 2 weeks than they did the previous 2 weeks, but the competition's getting better. But yeah, I think this BYU team's just a step ahead. I think Bear Bachmeier is a little ahead of schedule. Two freshmen. Don't expect him to have 10 touchdowns and no
hard-nosed player
giveaways, right? And the fact that he ran for 98 yards against Colorado, that was awesome. Nocione Moa, RB2 for BYU is the reason for that. And they loaded up on LJ Martin, but yeah, we're happy about 4-0. BYU's good. It's just how good. We're going to see that the next couple of weeks as they take on West Virginia, Arizona. And then there's really kind of a gauntlet there of 4 games we've been highlighting. Utah, at Iowa State, at Texas Tech, TCU. That'll be a real tough 4-game stretch.
For sure. West Virginia was playing really good defense before the last 2 weeks. You can highlight it a couple different things. I think, number one, they actually did data. There's data on this. West Virginia faced the hardest single thing in college football this season, which was you play your rivalry game not on rivalry week, and it goes to overtime. You literally spend everything.
Yep.
And then you had to turn around and travel like they did. It's all the way out to Kansas.
Yeah.
And so apparently that was situationally the toughest spot for any team in college football this year. I was shocked to hear that. But I guess because BYU was coming off the bye, and also Lance Leopold undefeated off the bye in his career. So all those things combined made for West Virginia having a hard time. Well, Nico Marchiol's coming off his best performance, right? And has a really bad performance against Kansas, who had 2 weeks to prepare. You lose him, and unfortunately you go 3 and out on 6 straight possessions. And that defense has been running into the wall all off season. And it just feels like to me they hit a wall against both Utah and Kansas. And I think that's why they've fallen off the last couple of weeks. I really do think they're going to bounce back. I think they have the talent to do that. And we're hoping they do it this week against the BYU team that's not quite as explosive as Kansas. But they're probably as methodical as Utah, which worries me.
Yeah, BYU, interestingly, is very explosive in the run game. BYU's got a bunch of 40-plus yard runs, 2 from a wide receiver, Cody Hagan, I guess a 32 and a 52, but he scored twice on this cool tornado reverse, they call it. LJ Martin's been one of the best running backs in the country. Bear Bachmeyer can run. Sione Moa, as I mentioned, RB2 out. That's a big deal for this West Virginia game. So, yeah, it's interesting. BYU's kind of just throwing to the same 3 receivers and the same tight end and the same running back, LJ Martin. There's not a ton of sort of, distribution to a bunch of guys. Bear knows who he wants to throw to. One of those guys isn't his brother, which is funny. He'll get in the mix at some point, but his brother Tiger is on the team. That's Leo.
I saw that Tiger. Why are they all named after animals? I need to know.
It's their grandpa kind of gave them those nicknames, and then they've run with them as if they're because they have like normal given names, Michael and whatever. But it's Bear, Tiger, and then the youngest brother is Cougar. I'm kidding you not. Youngest brother's Cougar. We want him in the future.
Of course, if his name's Cougar, that's like, I mean, he's obviously going to Houston.
Yeah, or Houston, I guess. Yeah, exactly. But what we're expecting is a hungry, ticked off Mountaineer team that isn't the team that didn't give a good fight against Utah. Frankly, I've never rooted harder for West Virginia than last week. They were playing Utah. I am a BYU guy, so there's a certain result that I'm hoping for every week.
Oh, trust me, I felt that from the other side.
Yeah, you know. So, yeah, that wasn't exactly that. Obviously, year 1, Rich Rod's back, which is great for the league, by the way. Great for West Virginia. By the way, my sister just moved from West Virginia. She's lived there the last 8 years. She loved it. She's back here in Utah. Absolutely loved it. So shout out to West Virginia. That's awesome. Rich Rod's back. 70 transfers takes a minute. It just takes a minute to congeal. Yeah. 2 years ago, BYU had 31 transfers. They went 5-7. It just not everybody is in the system, understands the culture, understands the expectation, and so on and so forth. I think next year you go, okay, now we're together. You develop in the offseason, everything's in place, you get some continuity, and then you make a push, right, to be more competitive. But I see this line, Paul, and I go, like I see a scenario where sure, BYU could win by cover 20 plus, 19.5. But West Virginia has a very good run game, and defensively, they do some things that make opposing offenses prepare way harder. They're tricky, and what could equalize the game in this kind of situation? A bunch of turnovers,
for sure.
So it's not you don't just BYU for BYU. They're not walking in going, "We're going to win by a million." They're going, "They have our attention." Absolutely.
Yeah, obviously, I titled this thing "Upset Alert" because nobody's expecting West Virginia to win, right? Who knows who's going to play quarterback for West Virginia? There's a lot of things that most situations you would say, okay, West Virginia's got no shot coming in here. Well, this is Rich Rodriguez, and his teams always get better. There's never been a season you can look back at his except maybe the first year in Morgantown and in Michigan, maybe the first year. But other than that, he's almost always gets better during the year and especially after that, which is always a huge turn at some point. Last year, we probably brought it up a billion times on the show. I actually even got a graphic that I saved for it. This was the start last year at Jack State, right? They started at 0-3. They finished 8-1 and won the league with 60 new players.
Great graphic, by the way. Spectacular.
Yeah. It is a great graphic. So I don't expect this team to make that kind of turn because it's higher level of talent. It's more players. Unsettling at quarterback. Top eight offensive linemen are gone. You're playing with 5 new guys, and especially the right side, it just hasn't been good. So, but can you get competitive? That's what we want to see. And if you're competitive in this game, sure, BYU could get on upset alert at some point in this game. Are you expecting this game to be close, or what are your just overall thoughts on that? I think you alluded to it.
Yeah, I do expect BYU to win convincingly, and here's why. I think BYU will be able to run the ball effectively, and if they continue to take care of the ball, I don't think it will be close. Where I think it would be close is if West Virginia's +2 in the margin. That's where I think that could be equalized a little bit. Now, if West Virginia can control the line of scrimmage a bit and force BYU to kind of load the box, and then they can stretch the field just a touch, now you got a shot. But like you said, there's questions at quarterback and so on and so forth. Also, it's just a late game. It's kind of a weird setup for West Virginia. You got to go back 2 time zones. Body clock, it's 10:26 Eastern kickoff time. Just kind of weird. Lavelle Edwards Stadium is going to be popping. It's one of the best places to watch a game in America right now. It's going to be a ton of fun. Cosmo's going to be doing his thing. You'll see Polynesian, fire dancers, fireworks. Like, it is a show, dude.
Ice cream.
A football game. Yeah, the ice cream to the opponents. It used to be a football game. Now it's a show that features a football game. So it's going to be a ton of fun. Any West Virginia fans that are coming out, I hope you feel super welcome and love it and really enjoy it, because it's 2 fan bases that really enjoy mountains. So we need to come together on this one and just have a fun Friday night contest.
Let's get to some players to watch. We'll go to break really quick. We'll come back. I'm going to ask Jarom about some of the players in this BYU team because they've got a bunch, especially at linebacker. We'll talk about it next. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by our friends, of course, and always. We love talking about Mazda. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. They craft cars that deliver confidence with every ride, of course, and they have more IHS Top Safety Picks awards than anybody else, at least as of August 2025. So they have a new all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV that you can drive with confidence through almost any season. Like our players, we sweat every detail, and because you move, we move, and we make every move count. And look, it's impossible, but nothing's impossible when it was irrelevant with us at Mazda. Do that today and move and be moved. And of course, we can't forget about our friends, and we love talking to Monarch Money. When it comes to Monarch Money, we have a couple of things that we really like to touch on around here. And if you didn't know, you'll find out now, because most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401k properties or investments. When you don't have the full price or picture, you can end up learning and leaving money on the table. That's why this is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one financial piece and tool that brings your entire financial life together in one easy to use interface on your laptop or phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you're putting off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. It does the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes. You can see clear data visuals, smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money. And that's without ever touching a spreadsheet, as a matter of fact. So maximize the investments, increase your savings. You can review your finances with your partner or financial advisor and keep a clear view of your financial health week to week and long term. Don't let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year with Monarch Money and using the code LOCKEDONCollege. And segment 2, I always crack open a do, Jarom. So if you don't mind.
Nice, dude. Do the do.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you for joining in, man. I really did enjoy my trip out to Provo, by the way. That was an awesome 3-day fest. We saw the Wizard of Oz. We went to Spanish Fork. We did a bunch of different stuff, man.
Nice.
I actually have a video I'm releasing this week on that that I did for Utah Valley. I've been working on it here and there as a side project, and I've planned on releasing it for this week. So that should be out I think I'm going to release it Friday on game day. So the day of the game. So I'll make sure I tag you and some other people in it, because I put some work into it. It's going to be voiced over. So it's taking some work, but I've got a list of some people, man. I wanted to throw some names at you, and then any names that you have. Yeah. Here's how I'll do this segment. A lot of times I'll just bring up a name, and you tell West Virginia fans on a scale of 1 to 10 how worried they should be about this player, and then you can maybe give them something about him.
Yeah.
We'll start with Bear Bachmeyer.
I would say kind of a 9. I mean, the way that he inserted himself in the run game with 98 rushing yards, he had over 100, and then he went to kneel it, which is a team loss of yards, but he kind of scooted to the right to kill some time a little bit, and then they gave him -5 on it, and it went against his number. Otherwise, he's over 100 in his first Power 4 road start. And again, I will say it for the third time. No Sione Moa is a big deal for BYU. LJ Martin's very good. Bear Bachmeyer's going to be right there. We'll see what other running backs are in the mix, but Bear has been very effective with his arm. BYU's not chucking it deep a ton, but good in the intermediate, very good in the short routes, good completion percentage at nearly 68%, 10 touchdowns, 4 rushing, 6 passing. So as a true freshman, he's done a spectacular job. I would say he's a 9.
Wow. Chase Roberts, who I absolutely love.
He's a very good receiver. 6'4", fifth-year guy, incredible hands, deep threat, intermediate, short. He can do it all.
Yeah.
He's a guy that could go kind of 6th, 7th round undrafted free agent.
I think
NFL
so.
type.
I think he's got some NFL side upside.
Good speed, cooked a corner for Colorado super hard on what he calls a star route, he told me. It was a slant, and then he kind of opened up his hips for a whip or arrow. Wide open, just one-on-one domination. He's a guy that's really good. To me, he's like an 8 or 9 as well.
Wow.
He's the number one receiver for BYU by far.
Carson Ryan.
Carson Ryan has been really good. He's got great hands, great inline blocker as well. BYU hasn't kind of had that dual threat tight end in the last couple of years. So BYU fans are very excited about him. Utah transfer, so we love that too. He was at UCLA before that, but he's from Utah County locally. Yeah, so he's done a nice job. Look for him on like 3rd and 6. He's kind of that target guy, but he'll make great catches. He made kind of a one-hand catch against his helmet against Portland State in the opener. He is a threat. Give me an 8 on Carson Ryan in terms of his ability to move the chains effectively.
So how about the do-it-all dynamo Cody Hagan?
Cody Hagan's interesting. So back from a 2-year mission for the church, redshirted last year, and he has been awesome in the run game. As I mentioned, he scored twice on an end around. So what they'll do is they'll fake the run to the end around to Parker Kingston. They'll fake to LJ Martin. They kind of go in a 360. The defense doesn't know where it's going. Go watch this play if you haven't seen it against Colorado and Portland State. And he's run for, I believe, 32 and 52-yard touchdowns as a receiver on an end around. It is a play that I doubt will show up this week because they ran it last week, but it's worked both times perfectly. He is a former 100, 200-meter state champ in high school. He's very fast.
Wow. Could an offense be made out of this tornado formation?
It's really fun when you watch it. And Aaron Roderick's very creative. Andrew Gentry is the right tackle for BYU. He came from Michigan, where he was there for 3 years, part of the Natty team 2 years ago. He said they had a play from BYU because they really admired the creativity of the Cougars in the Michigan playbook.
Very interesting. Okay, so.
Oh, I didn't give you a number. Give me a 7 on Cody.
Okay. Let's move over to defense. Is there anybody on offense that I didn't mention that deserves a mention? Obviously, the O-line.
LJ Martin, the running back.
Yeah, right. I should have mentioned him. Yeah.
LJ is running for 7 yards a carry. He's run for 400 yards net through 4 games. Did a lot of his work in the first 2, but he's not a home run hitter, but he will lace doubles to death. He will move the chains. He will get the tough yards. He is faster this year. He's run for 40-plus 4 times. I'm talking singular plays, not in a game. Like, he has explosiveness, and he's BYU's RB1. And Aaron Roderick has said the run game is our identity. So LJ Martin is the heart of that.
Yeah. Wow. So that offensive line should perform really well. I think you mentioned the right tackle earlier. Is there any weakness on that offensive line?
I mean, there were a couple false starts and holds last week a little bit.
Get out of here.
They were penalized.
Compared to what we've gone through?
I mean, it happens. Like, you're not aggressive enough if you don't have anything.
Man.
You don't like procedure penalties. I could do without any of those. Yeah. I don't mind 1 or 2 holds a game. That means you're right up.
It's an effort. A lot of times it's an effort thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Defensively, obviously you have to start. It starts and ends with both Isaiah Glasker and Jack Kelly. Am I wrong? Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and throw the duo about them out there, even though they're singularly really great players. They're very different players as well.
To me, they're as good a duo of linebackers as literally anyone in the country.
I agree.
They are as good as anybody, because what they can do is they can pick off any pass, force a fumble. They can get in the backfield. They can chase down any quarterback. Last week, Jack Kelly and Isaiah Glasker were in Caden Salter's face mask. They were pressuring him constantly. There was one play that really stuck out, and then the game winner. So Isaiah Glasker blitzes from the left side, dives, face mask is on the ground. There's a picture of him. He's on the ground, gets back up, makes the sack for 22 yards. That's Isaiah Glasker. And then on the last play of the game, when BYU's up 3, BYU could have kicked a field goal to go up 6. They punt and pin inside the 5. They put it on the defense's shoulders. Jack Kelly gets in Caden Salter's face. He throws an interception to Isaiah Glasker. Those two are NFL bound. The defense revolves around their skill, and they are awesome. 10s for both of them.
Wow, man. A lot of 8s, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s here.
Give me a random guy. I'll be like, 0. Probably not going to play.
Yeah. Logan, how do you say his last name?
Lutui, the defensive end. Yeah. Leading tackler.
You're right.
Great story. Almost quit football a couple years ago. Was playing for the defensive coordinator Jay Hill up at Weber State, which is an FCS school about 90 minutes to the north.
What was it called?
Weber State.
Oh, Weber State, the basketball.
Out of the Big Sky. Yep. Jay Hill was the head coach there. He's been the DC for BYU the last 3 years. He's got a little son named Ziggy. Super cute. He plays the organ.
What a cool name.
Church with his congregation. Like, what defensive end is like playing the organ the next morning? You know what I mean? He's great. Great story. He's physical, good in the run game, can get in the quarterback's face. BYU doesn't produce a ton of sacks. Would love more of that, but he's a guy that will rush that throw to a BYU secondary that is waiting for that ball to be tipped up or picked off.
We've got an all-name candidate here.
Yes.
Can you guess who it is?
Besides Bear?
Yes.
Raider DeMooney.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, Raider DeMooney's sister is Logan Latui's spouse. Does that make sense? They're brother-in-laws. So Raider DeMooney, his dad Jack played at BYU, and he's still in the program, like behind the scenes with player personnel and alumni and stuff. Raider's a good safety too. I really like BYU's other safeties as well. Falatel Tuala is a sophomore who picked off a pass against Stanford. He also got a safety against Stanford. They threw a screen in the end zone for some reason. That was weird. Satuala was right there. And then Wall is one of the smartest safeties in the country. His ability to process things. Number 28, he flies all over the field. Had 3 picks last year. Has a pick, I believe, this year. One was called back because there was a substitution issue, but he is very smart. It's hard to beat BYU deep because their safeties are very skilled.
Last but not least, Evan Johnson.
I stopped giving you numbers, but all those guys are like 7s, 8s.
Okay.
Evan Johnson was unbelievable against East Carolina. So he had 2 picks in the game. One was when ECU was knocking on the door of the end zone. He picks it off, runs into the end zone and around a receiver, and then he goes, for like 15 or 20 yards. So he saved the touchdown. And then BYU's offense hadn't gotten going quite yet. Right before the half, picks off a pass at the 4-yard line, pick 6, totally read it, changed the momentum of the game. He even told one of the videographers for BYU before, I'm getting a pick today, probably a pick 6.
Wow.
So he called his shot. His dad played in the NFL for the Eagles. He's got the genes, right? Evan Johnson to me is like 8.5, maybe 9. Like he's a very good corner, physical, fast, good ball skills.
He stuck out to me for sure on tape. I just want to do the pin of shame to Joey here. Joey, tell me something I don't know, brother. I mean,
come on.
You know what I mean? Be better.
Come on.
You got to come with a better insult than that. Come on, man. I wake up in the morning every day and realize I'm a little overweight.
Hey.
Maybe that's an understatement, but still. Appreciate that, man. We'll go to break one more time, guys, and I got to ask Jarom about the game keys, and then we'll do a prediction and get him out of here. I really appreciate you for joining, man. By the way, if you don't know, guys, BYU TV, Sports Nation and BYU, is it Sports Nation BYU? Is that how you say it?
BYU Sports Nation.
BYU Sports Nation. I had it reversed. Is that for ESPN?
So just for BYU TV and BYU Radio.
Okay. Because I thought ESPN had something called Sports Nation or
similar. There is still. It was more popular a while ago, called Sports Nation. We asked them, "Hey, you cool if we do this?" Like, years ago, and they said, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Wow. Okay. Well, that's really nice of them. Yeah. Okay. After the break, guys, we get game keys and a prediction with Jarom Jordan. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by our friends at Square College. And look, I know you probably want to know the questions I want to know. What in the heck is Square? Well, it's 4 million people know about it because it's that dang good. Brought to you by Square, where your neighborhood's going to run on Square. These are certain businesses that you want to know about because they make the neighborhood the neighborhood. There are certain places in the neighborhood that become an extension of home, whether it's a sports bar dedicated to your team's fan base, the spot with the best wings in town for game day, or that beloved local chain that's been rooted in your community for years. These businesses are what bring people together. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives after all. Look, there's this local spot in Morgantown that everybody should know about. It's called Kegler's, right? It's been the heart of our community for years. It's the kind of place where you walk in and everybody knows your name. Rich Rod does a show from there. We love it. You love it. Everybody loves it. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/lockedoncollege to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Do it today at Square. See you in the neighborhood. And last but not least, our friends at FanDuel want to say hello. And the NFL season is here. FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets. That's if you win that first $5 bet. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game-changing day experience so much better than you could ever want. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the favorite FanDuel app today and get started. And we are back with Jarom Jordan from BYU TV, BYU Sports Nation, been in the business for 20 years, which means he's probably closer to my age than he looks.
I know I look young.
What are you, 33, 34?
I wish, man.
Okay, keys to the game. I'll start here. So one of the things Rich Rod says in every week is 25 first downs. If we can get 25 first downs, I think Rich Rod's only lost one game or something like that where they've gotten that many.
Interesting.
And a lot of that has to do with the way they play, the tempo at which they play at. And because, a lot of teams run tempo, but Rich Rod's always either first or second in how fast, right? So a lot of times what that does is it causes attrition on the defense. And even if we're not getting pushed in the first quarter, if we can just move the change here and there through the passing game or however you do it, by the end of the game, you're going to get push, especially if a team's 90 or 100 plays in, because Rich Rod plays as an extra emphasis even over other coaches on conditioning. I can't tell you how many players I spoke to that came in from the portal this year that said this is, by far the hardest conditioning program they've ever been gone through. And that's what Rich Rod's known for. He creates tough football players. Unfortunately, this hasn't been a great year to prove that, but hopefully going forward, we'll see that. So I think the 25 first downs, the conditioning, making that a factor, even in the elevation, which I think is still possible, but we'll see. We'll see, obviously. And then number two, you've just got to settle on a quarterback that can manage the game. Yeah. I mean, just settle on somebody, is it going to be Jalen Henderson, who started multiple games in the SEC? I don't know. He's dinged up. Is it Max Johnson that started multiple games at Florida? I don't know. He's dinged up. Nico Marchiol's transferred. You're literally all arrows point to a redshirt freshman, Khalil Wilkins, who is dynamic with his legs coming into starting this game. If that happens, I think you have to have Ty Edwards back for this game, who is an absolute monster. And I think, I've compared him to Ollie Gordon. He's a similar type player. That's how good he is, truthfully. Unfortunately, he got hurt against Pitt in his coming out party. But I think, if Ty Edwards can come back along with Khalil, maybe we can run it a little. And then finally, I think West Virginia has to score at least 30 points in this game to win.
And that's a keen observation. Last year, Oklahoma State came into Provo, and they scored in the 30s and nearly beat BYU. BYU scored with about 15 seconds left to win. That's an Oklahoma State team that went 0-9 last year. Like, why couldn't West Virginia come in here and sort of surprise BYU in some way and do that?
Sure.
Part of that was, too, which is very similar to the situation, was Oklahoma State had an injury at quarterback. They were playing a guy that didn't have a ton of film. And so,
was it Alan Bowman that was hurt?
Bowman was hurt, exactly.
The great Alan Bowman.
Yeah. 19-year guy, Alan Bowman. So that gave BYU some trouble. And that was kind of the anomaly game of the season. And fortunately for BYU fans, the Cougars pulled it out. But that was an interesting, also, I think, Friday night game. Just saying.
Interesting.
So that was weird. Okay, Mikey's. Take care of the football. BYU in this Kalani Sitake era is 35-4 when they don't turn it over at all.
Wow.
Number 2, rush the rock. BYU, one of the best in the country right now, top 10 in run offense. if they can continue to run effectively, move the chains, control the game in terms of clock, BYU will huddle for a long time. They don't seek to milk clock. They're just being very deliberate in what they do. There's not a ton of tempo to it, so kind of opposite of sort of the Rich Rod principles. And then number 3 is for BYU's defense, take the ball away. When BYU is able to create takeaways, they had 29 last year, 22 picks, which led the country. When BYU can take it away, obviously they can get shorter fields, prevent scores, give that offense the ball, and then if BYU is running it effectively, it's good night. But you got to do that stuff. It's not automatic that BYU is going to beat West Virginia. It's powerful.
No.
We're used to independence, this year 3 in the Big 12, but there were games where, we're just going to win. And then other games where it was like, okay, we're playing 3 P4s in September and on the road or whatever. So this group understands the challenge, and they respect every team in the league. There's one they want to beat more than the others, but they respect everyone in the league. So I think I think it could be a good game. Frankly, I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping BYU plays kind of the way they've been playing and wins convincingly at home, but I could see it being an Oklahoma State type situation again.
Yeah, hopefully we're not as bad as Oklahoma State was last year. We're still 2-3 after all. We did.
I know exactly.
But
Oklahoma State at the time was 3-0 when at the start of the year, right? Then they were 3-2 when they came to Provo.
Now you make me feel worse about it.
That's not what I meant to do, Paul. I apologize.
I know. Look, like you said, it's our fans have no patience. A lot of them, not want to say nobody, but there are a lot of our fans that are really impatient with this build right now. It's been tough. I think beating Pitt has to count for something,
totally.
right? I mean, in year one, they're in year. How many years has Narduzzi been there? At least
I think since 1878 or something.
Yeah. At least 10 years, right? So you're in year 1 of a build. They're in year 10 or 11 or 12 or whatever it is. They should be in a better spot, just like in this situation. Kalani Sitake's been here, what? I think he came in. This is 10th year. Mm-hmm. So, obviously you should be in a better situation. You are in a better situation. But we've got some good players. Like, I think we'll have the best single corner in the game in Michael Coach Jr. He's allowed a grand total of 2 catches for 3 yards on the year.
Wow.
People just can't get over. They can't throw at him. They can't throw towards him.
Yeah.
He's a very good player, which we paid a lot of money to keep him. I better not say that publicly. Sometimes I get rolling. We paid a lot of money to keep him, right?
Yes.
So, which leads me to my last point really quick. Do you have an idea, or can you speak publicly on where the NIL situation fell for BYU this year? A lot of West Virginia fans are kind of wondering, where do you have to get to? Because I don't know if you saw this, but Rim Baker and the university came out and said, hey, they put it out last week, I believe. They said, hey, we're committing. Like, they put out a statement and said, hey, we're committing to put West Virginia in the top funding tier of the Big 12 going forward. The board of directors, the university is all aligned. We're going to fund this program from the university side so that they can do this. So, which is great for Rich Rod going forward, obviously. I'm just curious if you know what that might look like. Maybe you can't be number 1 or number 2. Clearly, you and Texas Tech are that. What do you think, if you could just guesstimate, what would number 3, 4, or 5 look like?
It's a good question. Where and I don't know that BYU is number 2 per se. I think Texas Tech's number 1 for sure. I mean, Cody Campbell.
Who would be number 2 besides you, though?
That's a good.
Maybe Utah.
That's a good question. I don't think
Utah
would be above BYU in NIL.
Certainly not.
I mean, that's a great question. It really is. I wonder. I think BYU's top 5. I don't know if they're number 2, but they could be. Yeah, that's a good question. Like, is the top end, like 20 to 30 million? Is that where we're sitting? Is 10 to 15 enough to get to Arlington? It's a good question, because in football it's different than basketball. A lot has been made of BYU's NIL specifically in basketball,
right?
And a lot of
you guys have spent in basketball.
A lot of numbers are very bloated. It's not 7 million for AJ. It's not 3.5 for Rob Wright III from Baylor. Those numbers are not accurate. What is accurate, though, is that BYU is not about the transaction of those numbers. They are about transformation of individuals. Is NIL part of the conversation? Absolutely, but it's not the only thing. With BYU, they want it to be about, coming unto Christ, representing the church, representing the university, bettering yourself, bettering whatever religion you are, whether that's Christian or not. There's There's, the Bachmeyers are Catholic. Mo Bamba, one of the corners, he's Muslim. It doesn't matter. Just whatever you believe it to the best of your ability here. And yes, NIL is a part of that. And BYU wants to win. They want to compete, and they want to do it a certain way. And so it's been cool to see that be fully embraced by the administration, by the fan base, by the donors, and so on. And I wonder, for West Virginia, if you're going to be kind of top 5 NIL in football, is that in the $10 to $20 million?
It's got to be in the 15 to 20, maybe 25. I mean, I think you're going to have to share up to the cap, and then you're going to have to be 5 to 7 million outside of the cap. I mean, you're going to have to be.
And the combination of revenue sharing and so on and so forth.
Yes. If you could only share up to the cap, I don't know that you can get to the top funding tier in the Big 12. That's my question.
Share 21.7 or whatever, and then you got to go NIL above it. Yeah,
you have to.
There's
no other way.
Investment, and we've seen with all kinds of fan bases, like if your fans are blessed with some dough and they want to give it to the school, you have a decent chance of getting a decent roster.
You do.
That doesn't mean you'll win, but you hope that it certainly helps, because to compete, you have to be in that space somewhat.
Well, Rich Rod's always prided himself, and I'll get you out of here. Rich Rod's always prided himself on being an elite evaluator of talent. He's proven to be that over the course of time. If he can just hold on to the players that he brings in and then maybe retool here and there, we'll be a good football team at some point. I have no doubt.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, Khalil Wilkins, we think he can be really good someday. If he turns into a good player this year or next year, can you hold on to Khalil Wilkins when Alabama wants him or whoever? That's the big question. Yeah. If you're sharing up to the cap, maybe not. If you've got an extra couple million outside of the cap, Alabama looks a lot like West Virginia to Khalil Wilkins, probably. In most cases, the financials are going to count for a lot. And if the culture's there and if the culture's right, which Rich Rodriguez has never been criticized for having a bad culture. Sure, TikTok dances are frowned upon, but it's still a good place to play football.
You don't want to CJ Donaldson. Just keep those guys home and
exactly. That's a great examples, like a CJ.
Yeah.
So score wise, I'm probably being a homer, Jarom, but I'm just not ready to give up on this.
You should be a homer on Locked On West Virginia.
I should be, right? That's people. You wouldn't believe the criticism I get. I'm going to pick West Virginia to win this game. I'm going to change the score though. I'm going to say 27-24. I'm going to say the defense figures out LJ Martin. They're going to hold him to 100 yards rushing. BYU is you're going to force Bachmeier into some situations. And I do think Zach Alley is the best defensive coordinator he's faced yet this year. It's just that Zach Alley doesn't have the players at 100% maximum that he needs to be who he is, which is why we're paying him almost $2 million. And we got him from Oklahoma. So really glad we have Zach Alley. Hopefully we can keep him for the future so we can reap those benefits. But if you allow him to create a game plan for just Bear Bachmeier, I think he can come up with a pretty good one.
So Cade Hensley makes a game-winning field goal. Is that what you're picking here?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, I like it. If BYU doesn't turn it over, if they're even in margin or even positive, I just think BYU wins this by 2 scores or whatever. Right. If BYU's -2, that's where I could see, okay, that's where it could get a little weird here. So give me BYU, 31-17.
Which probably sounds more rational than my argument.
But they wouldn't cover. BYU is 3-1 ATS, by the way.
Well, great teams cover, they say, right? It's been, it's going to be interesting for sure. I really appreciate you for coming on, man.
Absolutely.
Really, really enjoyed my time at the your place of work and all that, and I'll be sure to make fun of Jake. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
going forward, like
Jake,
I roast him all the time.
Love Jake. Yeah, does good work with Locked On BYU Cougars.
Yeah, we roast each other all the time.
Oh, do it. I just want to say too, we felt so welcomed in the Big 12 by almost everybody. Obviously, there's some chants that have happened that are, not cool.
You guys have welcomed the Big 12 though too.
We've loved
I think that's a big part of it. You're literally the antithesis of what Utah has been, for the most part.
I won't speak on that, but we do have a fun rivalry with them. But we've loved it in the Big 12. We have absolutely enjoyed getting to know every team, every fan base, and for the most part, everyone's been very good and awesome and super welcoming. We appreciate it. We hope that people feel like we're good at in the league and that they want to come to Provo for a game, whether that's women's soccer or football or basketball, like volleyball, anything. And we just really appreciate it. So shout out to the West Virginia fans for being awesome. My sister lived there, loved her experience in West Virginia. And we love this mountain connection we have with the
mountain connection. That would be a great name for the rivalry.
Let's figure one out.
Mountains.
Which, by the way, BYU owes West Virginia one. 0-2, 2016 at FedEx Field in D.C. with Taysom Hill, by the way.
I remember that game very well.
Williams, bunch of NFL guys. And then 23, you guys crushed us 37-7. So I know the BYU team's they haven't even talked about this week, but I'm like, West Virginia got us twice. Mama. We got to show up here.
Yeah. Well, just let them stay sleeping. We'll be fine.
It's old sleepy Provo.
Old sleepy Provo, old sleepy West Virginia coming in. Rich Rod 62. He's surely not animated anymore. I appreciate you for joining, man.
Absolutely.
We will see you guys later. Thank you for being here for Locked On West Virginia with Jarom Jordan, BYU TV. Make sure you find him over there, and we'll see you guys on the next one. But until then, cue them country roads.